welcome to Dolly Talk. How is everybody doing today? Well, I had the stream all ready to go. Everything was great. Had the YouTube channel up and perusing Judge Fleischer's channel as I have been doing, trying to get content. And apparently he removed all his videos. That's peculiar. So I did a little digging. Howdy, Johnny. And of course, I discovered this about 15 minutes before the stream is supposed to start. Judge Fleischer. So, I do have some stuff to play today till I kind of regroup, but it really kind of caught me by surprise. Hello, Ghost. How are you? Hello, Evie. Scott, biochemist. Well, there was an article that came out today. Houston Judge Fleischer wants to help those who enter his courtroom. Some argue his viral videos are harmful. Aw, I like that. Um, so this video is kind of putting a little pressure on him. It's not necessarily bad, but at least for the time being, till some of the heat dies down. He said he began streaming during the pandemic to ensure access to the courts when Houstonians were encouraged to stay home. The videos often highlight Fleischer's penchant for over-the-top banter in his county criminal court at Law Number 5, sometimes calling out defendants for inappropriate attire or critiquing them for failing to adhere to his orders. I noticed he took down a lot of his videos 2 months ago from, I guess, before. So, like, on his channel, there was only 2 months worth of videos, and then those are now taken down today. Let's see. Ooh, in one recent instance, Fleischer threatened to spank a first-time defendant with jail time for wearing shorts in the courtroom. If you come in here and try to play this game again, I will put you over my knee like a little child, and I'm gonna spank you, the judge said, sensually, but I will do it with a ton of jail time. So going down to some of the critique. Defense attorney Corey Roth said he once warned a client eager to speak for herself about the judge in his live stream. Clip of her addressing Fleischer and inquiring about representing herself went viral. Of course, you can represent yourself, Fleischer told the woman. You can do open heart surgery on yourself too. Despite his good intentions, some have said Fleischer's videos and his behavior can be damaging for people in the criminal justice system. So defense attorneys are basically some defense attorneys have issues. Is the judge gay? No, I think he has kids, he said. Pretty sure. I mean, he has good intentions for sure. Another episode of Murderous Hoes Meet Judges. Hey, Brandon. Well, he did have some prostitutes come in for a probable cause. But anyway, so I found what was I gonna do? This video. We'll play And Brad, proof transparency only invites criticism. Well, I can't find any more mentions of prostitutes because he took all the videos down. I'm kind of annoyed. But we'll go ahead and start this video and see.
She knows about it, right?
Yes. Oh, I'm sorry.
Good morning, Ms. Hutcherson. It's Hutcherson. So you no interest in doing the PTI program?
She's currently in the PTI
She was
program.
just
She's
removed
terminated.
from
Oh, she was removed? Oh.
I didn't have a.
Got it. No, yeah, too late. Okay, so Ms. Hutcherson, you've worked out an agreement where they're offering you 3 days in jail, credit for the 1 day that you've done. You need to understand, ma'am, yeah, I just see that it was removed. You need to
No, he wasn't making any money. He was not monetized or anything like that.
understand that this DWI will go on your record. It's going to be there for the rest of your life. You need to understand that if you ever get pulled over, an officer is going to look at your history. They're going to see this DWI. If you smell like alcohol or dope, it's not going to go well. You know,
You're going to have a bad
the other
time.
thing, what we're doing today, it's not going to, I mean, you're looking at a minimum of 30 days in jail from now on for whatever you pick up. So no more proverbial slaps on the wrist. You understand? You're giving up the right to a trial, right to compel witnesses, test on behalf, confront and cross-examine your accusers. If you're not a citizen, there are possible immigration consequences. You can be deported, excluded from the country, denied naturalization. You give up the right to appeal. Once you plead guilty, it will stay on your record. You can never take it off. This is what you want to do. How do you plead to the offense, ma'am? Guilty or not guilty? I will find you guilty. I will send you to the agreement. What do you do for a living, man?
I work as a receptionist.
So how much money do you make?
I bring home
I want you to understand something, ma'am, that, you know, DWI is big business. There's a $3,000 surcharge that usually is tacked on when you pick up a DWI. And when you get a second DWI, it's a $6,000 surcharge. And if you don't pay it, you go to jail for every $100 that you owe.
Well, like
You
PPP.
understand? I will waive your fees now. I'm not, it's next time, it's around $7,000 you're going to be walking out. So if you want to get lit, just don't get into a car. $20, a button will take you anywhere you want to go. All right, good luck.
Thank you, Judge.
Run it. Oh, I have to suspend your license. I'm suspending it for 180 days. You are Aziel Gracia.
Sir.
Mr. Gracia, you. So
He's charged with, I've never seen this before, Judge, but he's charged with violating a bond condition.
yeah, I mean, I've certainly seen it. It's either
It's not a protective order, it's a bond condition.
right because they can't make the protective order case because it's been more than 61 days,
Had
right?
nothing to do with the protective order, Judge.
So yeah, right. I get it.
It was a different situation completely. Had nothing to do with family violence.
Get there. So you're charged in violation of a bond condition / protective order. You are facing up to a year in jail and or a $4,000 fine. We are going to do probable cause. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can or will be used against you, sir. If you cannot afford a lawyer will be appointed to represent you. So before we start, was he in a PTI? Is that why this case is 1,000 days old?
Yes, sir. He just has a few BIP classes left to finish the PTI.
Okay. Okay, go for it.
Judge. The officer was dispatched to a business in Harris County, Texas in response to a disturbance.
Wait, is that guy Chumley from Pawn Stars? Kind of looks like it.
Upon arrival, the officer observed the defendant grab another male aggressively, and the officer conducted a search on the defendant's person and found a loaded gun in the front pocket. The defendant is currently on bond for assault, family violence, and has bond conditions in place prohibiting from possessing a firearm.
Yeah.
This is
All right.
Texas.
Mr. Gracia, I'm going to find that there's probable cause to go forward on the bond conditions. State, what's your position as far as he's in a PTI? He's now picked up a new case. Mr. Gracia, I want you to know that we take these bond conditions extremely serious.
Sir.
You don't, though. This is not your first VPO. This is not your first violation of bond condition. You don't get it. No means no. Doesn't mean maybe. Doesn't mean I'm going to a high crime area. No means no. And now there are consequences. Stephen.
Judge, can I tell you a little bit about the case?
Sure.
You know, like, just to explain to you what happened. He was at his business. He owns a trucking company. He hired somebody who he said he took a chance on him because has a sketchy record, convicted felon. It didn't work out within a couple of days. So he ended up firing the individual. The individual refused to leave the premises or refused to accept it. So he started threatening him. He went inside. The individual started trying to damage the trucks. So at that point, he was fearful. He went and retrieved a firearm that he knew was hidden in the vehicle. I'm sorry, in there. I understand, Judge.
It's about the worst thing that you can do. Imagine if you use the firearm. Who gets charged with murder? Mr. Gracia?
Well,
Who has now dug themselves into a potential 50-year hole? We have a case like that today where a meager argument, someone who's charged with assault is now charged with murder because of a silly ass, stupid ass argument. Now dude is sitting in custody with a 200.
I mean, this is Texas, so I think you can use deadly force to defend property. If I recall my self-defense laws right. Just saying.
$50,000.
And he's been punished at this point, Judge. He's been punished for violating the bond by getting an entire new case on that. So as far as him going into custody for violating the bond condition, I would hope that you would take that into consideration, the fact that he has gotten punished on the bond violation already, and the fact that he's already had to hire a new attorney for two cases at this point, and it's probably going to affect the other case. So I would hope that you would continue supervision on that, just taking that into consideration.
I truly appreciate your position, but you have an assault from 2019 of a family member. The following year, you pick up a violation of a protective order or bond condition. Now you have another assault that they were even, what the hell you're looking over there? Was it Jesus over there? You
He's Jewish,
already
Your Honor.
have an assault of a family member that was dismissed as it is. You were lucky enough to even have this kind of an agreement where they're willing to dismiss a second assault of a family member. And now you pick up another violation of a bond condition. Eric, he doesn't get it.
I understand, Judge.
You don't get it. And now I have to show you, we mean business. I think that you are utter and complete danger to public safety. And I will do everything in my power to protect my public in every single way. Because the last thing I want is you to pick up a murder case like we have here this morning.
Aw.
Someone else goes with you.
Judge, one more thing. There's a bond condition on there that he's not allowed to return to that address. That address is his business. It's his place of business. The other person has no right to that address. So hasn't worked for the last week and a half because there's a bond condition, I'm assuming from the magistrate, that doesn't allow him to go back to that business.
Show me
So
proof.
I'd like to be
Show
able
me
to take
proof. And, the proper, and you need to advise, the proper way to do things is you call the cops.
that. Get a judge.
Really? I mean, that's, if you own the business, you show it. I mean, how easy would it have been to just call police?
I mean, he has a right to defend his property and.
Not while the case is open. He does, but not in that manner.
It's one of those things where things happen quick and you have to make a decision. And when we're talking about trucks that are worth hundreds of thousands of dollars and things like that.
911, man, really?
Really? Come on, Judge.
So he's,
Okay, they will still take his ass to jail and then, you try to get restitution or whatnot, but
so as far as the bond goes, can you set him a bond today? So
Of course.
And Judge, we've contacted Conrad because it's his case, but I just want to confirm that bond has been revoked for his prior case. Is that correct?
yeah,
Okay.
yeah, on the assault, I'm revoking it.
Yes, Judge.
Looks like they set the bond at 20,000 on the new case.
Yes, Judge.
I'm gonna mirror it.
Because he's already posted that bond, he's already hired me. He hired me on the other case as well. There's a motion to sub in your queue that I need you to sign as well.
I'll sign it for you.
I'd ask that you set that new bond at $500. It's tough for the family, Judge. I mean, At this point, he hasn't worked in 2 weeks. He's trying to get back on his feet. He did everything properly. He didn't go back to the location because of the bond condition.
It's hard out there for a pimp.
I'm not doing $500. I mean, I was thinking that was going to mirror the same one. I was put it at
And that would be
20,000.
state's position to mirror.
So he understands that we mean business, if he's unable to bond out, I'm always willing to talk after a couple of days, but I want him to understand that we take it absolutely serious. And when you go over there with a gun with the intent to do some serious damage, hell no. No way. No. And I think that making it 20,000, what the other one is, hopefully it'll get his attention. But like I said, look,
10,000?
like I'm not out for blood, Eric, so if he's unable to, after some time, come back, and I'm not talking weeks, but a couple of days, so he realizes that we mean business.
So we're talking about 2 weeks minimum. So would you consider doing 10,000?
Well, remember, I Zoom. So you can be in Abu Dhabi. I'm still here.
His mom's present, so let me talk to her.
Yeah, for sure. Okay.
Talk to his mom.
You were Samuel Torres. Mr. Torres, you're charged with driving while intoxicated. It's elevated to a Class A misdemeanor because of the high blow, so you're facing up to a year in jail and or a $4,000 fine. We're going to do probable cause. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can or will be used against you. You have the right to have an attorney present. If you cannot afford one will be appointed to you, sir.
Yes, Judge. On November 14th, 2024, the officers observed the defendant's motor vehicle make a wide right turn at an intersection with a dividing concrete median, accelerate at a high rate of speed from the intersection, failed to maintain a single lane, moving halfway into the center lane before returning to the outside lane, cross over a solid white line into a bike lane before returning to the lane, and the officer observed other cars in the area at the time, rendering the failure to maintain a single lane dangerous to the other motor vehicles. The defendant's motor vehicle stopped at a red light and remained stopped after the light turned green, obstructing traffic, and the officer then initiated a traffic stop once the defendant's motor vehicle finally proceeded through the intersection. The officers had to travel approximately 0.5 miles from the original location as the defendant continued to drive. The officer made contact with the defendant, the driver, and the officer observed bloodshot eyes, an odor of an alcoholic beverage, and the defendant stated he did not immediately pull over because he lives at the apartment complex where the traffic stop was eventually performed and did not want his vehicle towed. The defendant stated he was coming from his sister's house, and the officer observed the defendant using the motor vehicle to regain balance. The defendant stated he had one Long Island liquor drink that he was currently consuming inside the motor vehicle, and the officer found a frozen daiquiri still frozen and half consumed on the passenger side of the floorboard.
So he's drinking while driving?
Yes, Judge. And the officers performed standard field sobriety test, HGN 6 out of 6, walk and turn 7 out of 8, one leg stand 3 out of 4. The defendant was read the DIC and consented to breath. The results were 0.151 and 0.160.
Mr. Torres, do you have a Texas driver license?
Yes, sir, I do.
I'm now taking away your privilege to drive. You are not allowed to drive at all for any reason. And I don't give a rat's behind what your excuse is. If I find that you drive, I can have a contempt hearing. You can be facing up to 6 months in jail and a $500 fine every time you get into a car and drive. Do you understand? From now on, you'll be taking the Dodge Patas. This is an affidavit that you're going to be signing with me today, promising me. And I don't care what your excuse is. If there's a burning building with 50 kittens you have to save, you get into a car and drive, we will have issues. I'm also ordering you not to consume alcohol or illegal drugs. I will randomly test you. If I find that you're consuming alcohol or illegal drugs, likewise, I will revoke your bond, put you in jail. You will not get any more PR bonds, sir. Any private to be eyes, Alex?
Hey, Bob.
How old are you, sir?
Mid-30.
What do you do for a living?
I'm a mechanic.
How much money do you make a month?
About 24 right now.
Who do you live with?
My wife, my sister, my daughter.
Your mom.
Who else in the house works?
Just me.
Apply for an appointed lawyer, sir. So help me. Any issue, Mr. Torres, if I set your bond $5,000 to $10,000 and you ain't got anyone to pony up that kind of money, you will be stuck like Chuck until this case is over with. Make wise decisions while you're out there, because if you don't, I'm going to keep you. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Do you mind giving me an application, please? Have you application for an appointed lawyer? I need you to fill out everything. Don't just put zeros because I'm going to send it right back to you. I'll have you sign a reset with Victoria. You're going to have to meet with Felicia for your bond conditions. Then we'll have you take a seat in the jury box.
Vasquez, Guillermo.
Jaquan Peterson.
Yes, sir.
Mr. Peterson, you're charged with reckless driving. You're facing up to 30 days and or a $500 fine. We're going to do probable cause. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can or will be used against you. You have the right to have an attorney present. If you cannot afford one will be appointed to you, sir.
Yes, Judge. On November 14th, 2024, the officer was part of a task force with the main focus being hostile street takeovers and racers. A large group of motor vehicles were meeting at the 11700 East Freeway in a parking lot in Harris County, Texas, when the officer observed the defendant's motor vehicle enter an area of the parking lot and began to spin his...
Si tú hablas, te pongo en la cárcel.
Okay. You. Oh, did somebody just get held in contempt?
Okay, sorry, please,
Would you like me to start from the beginning, Judge?
please.
Yes, Judge. On November 14, 2024, the officer was part of a task force with the main focus being hostile street takeovers and racers. A large group of motor vehicles were meeting at the 11700 East Freeway in a parking lot when the officer observed the defendant's motor vehicle enter an area of the parking lot and begin to spin his rear tires with a loud screeching noise. The defendant's motor vehicle did several donuts, losing control of the rear end within 10 to 15 feet of other motor vehicles, making up the pit. The officer observed the defendant's motor vehicle complete approximately 2 to 3 donuts, and a traffic stop was initiated. The officer made contact with the defendant, the driver and sole occupant, and the defendant admitting to doing donuts.
Hey, man.
Run his NCIC. Does he have any other cases like this by chance?
I'll run his NCIC, Your Honor.
Please. Mr. Pearson, I'm going to find that there's probable cause to go forward with your case. Can you imagine if you start doing these donuts, you hit and kill someone? Who gets charged with murder? These are things you must consider when you're out there in the free world. You think before you act, think before you speak, because actions may be your last.
And Your Honor, he has no other open cases or criminal history.
Do you have a Texas driver license? Do you have liability insurance in your name? Can you run this license,
It's
please?
eligible, Your Honor.
I'm ordering you as a condition of your bond not to participate in activities like this again. No reckless driving, donuts, street takeovers,
Lame.
racing. If I find that you do, the first thing I'm going to do is take your privilege to drive away from you. And the next thing I will do is I will put you in jail. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
610. The freeways, toll roads, parking lots. This isn't the right way to put. You don't do this over there. And I'm going to tell you now,
What about
the
cul-de-sacs?
Texas legislature has made it extremely easy for DAs across Texas to seize and take cars for individuals who participate in these types of actions. And I've had defendants come here with their cars seized, $50,000 trucks taken because of these types of actions. So be careful out there, because not only can you next time go to jail, but you may lose that very car that you had. Can you file those conditions, please? No donuts, reckless driving, et cetera.
No
We're going
donuts.
to reset your case to give you time to hire lawyers. So I'm going to have you sign a reset with Victoria. After that, we will have you take a seat in jury box while we get your bond conditions. We'll have you sign it, and then you'll be free to go. When you come back, please have a lawyer, sir.
Comes back in for his next hearing with a box of dozen Krispy Kremes.
Page 16.
Robert Potter. Mr. Potter, you're charged with driving while intoxicated. You're facing up to 6 months in jail and or a $2,000 fine. We're going to do probable cause. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can or will be used against you. You have the right to have an attorney present. If you cannot afford one, one will be appointed to you, sir.
Yes, Judge. On November 17th, 2024, at 1:10 a.m. in the morning, officers conducted a traffic stop on the defendant's motor vehicle after
Oh, no,
observing it
Harry.
traveling at a high rate of speed, 67 miles per hour in a 45 mile per hour zone. Upon contact, the officer observed the defendant to be the driver and sole occupant and observed him with slurred speech, strong odor of an alcoholic beverage, and bloodshot, glassy eyes. The defendant admitted to drinking and scored himself as a 5 on a 1 to 10 intoxication scale. Standard field sobriety tests were conducted, HGN 6 out of 6, walk and turn 7 out of 8, one leg stand 2 out of 4. The officer observed the defendant to be disoriented, drowsy, had slow and sluggish reaction, was uncoordinated, unsteady, as well as disoriented during the test. An inventory search of the defendant's vehicle revealed a 12-pack of 12-ounce Modelo's in the back seat,
Nice.
as well as a 6-pack of 14-ounce Michelob Ultra with 1 container left.
I take
The
that back.
DICs were read and the defendant consented to breath, the results being 0.097 and 0.099.
Is there any evidence that he's consuming while he's driving?
No, Your Honor.
Mr. Potter, I'm going to find that there's probable cause to go forward with the case. Do you have a valid Texas driver license? Do you have valid liability insurance
Yes, sir.
in your name?
Yes, sir.
Are you sure? Can you run his license, please? Any priority WIs?
No, Your Honor.
Could be worse.
I'm
He could have
ordering
had
you
Bud
as a
Light.
condition of your bond, Mr. Potter, not to consume alcohol, illegal drugs, or unprescribed controlled medication. I'm going to randomly test you. If I find that you're consuming alcohol or any illegal drugs, unprescribed controlled medication, I will put you in jail. No more PR bonds. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
How old are you, sir?
19.
What do you do for a living?
Gold maker. Work. No fine.
How much money do you make a month? We're going to reset your case to give you time to hire a lawyer. So I will have you go to Victoria, sign a reset. I'll get you with Felicia for your bond conditions. And after that, you'll be free to go. Be careful. Don't use. I don't care what your excuse is. If I find that you're using, there's a one-way trip. You understand?
Yes, sir.
Okay, man. Come on.
No cocaine.
All right, Judge.
I don't care if you're a 9-year-old.
You said paid at 8? Okay. Tatiana Green. Good morning. Ms. Green, you're charged with assault of a family member. You're facing up to a year in jail and or a $4,000 fine. We're going to do probable cause. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can or will be used against you. You have the right to have an attorney present. If you cannot afford one, one will be appointed to you.
The complainant and the defendant have been married for 3 years. On November 17th, 2024, officers were dispatched to a
Lucky
welfare
man.
check at a residence in Harris County, Texas, where the officers met with the complainant, who stated that the defendant and the complainant were having marriage issues due to the defendant cheating. The complainant stated that
Wait, the
on November
defendant?
17th, he observed the complainant laying on the couch he observed the defendant laying on the couch talking to another man on the phone. An argument then ensued.
Mm-hmm. If you don't have anything nice to say, don't say it at all. Okay. Well, good for her.
The complainant stated the defendant grabbed a curtain rod and hit him twice on the leg while he was laying in bed. The complainant stated he called 911 because he was worried about safety and needed help. Just before the officers arrived, the defendant bit the complainant's left arm, causing pain. The officer observed the injury on the complainant's arm.
Do we know if he wants to have contact with her?
I wouldn't.
I'll read the RIF. A RIF was performed, so.
Okay.
God, not only does she cheat on him, but she bites him too.
Ms. Green, it looks like a protective order has been issued in this case. Get to know it. If you violate it, the state will file additional charges against you, a violation of protective order. It's one of the worst cases you can pick up. Until I know that he wants to have contact with you, I'm barring you from having any contact with this person. Do you understand?
Yes, sir. So it appears that the complainant does not want contact and the complainant is moving out in order to make sure no contact happens.
Okay, do you have a child with this person?
No, sir.
Great. I don't want to talk about the case. I just,
It's
No,
not
no,
the case.
I'll pass.
The apartment that we have together is my apartment, but right now, since I got out, I've been at my grandma's.
so for now, right, this bars you from going to the Westmead place, right? So you need a lawyer to represent you in this case. You need a lawyer to represent you in this case, ma'am. Do you work?
I do work. I just started working. Whenever I was in court for like,
You get a lawyer for the magistration.
I didn't talk to anyone,
Okay, so what kind of money do you make a month?
nothing right now.
How do you support yourself? Okay. Did you want to apply for a
Welfare.
court-appointed lawyer, ma'am?
Hi, Christine.
Yes.
The other option is you can go hire one. What would you like? Okay. Actually, I have one. So I have an affidavit already filled out. So what we'll do is I'll have you just sign a reset with Victoria. I'll have you sign here the order for protection, and then we'll have you take a seat. Don't leave until you sign our additional bond conditions, and then we'll have you talk to lawyer here momentarily.
Okay.
Okay, please.
It was already signed, but
Oh, that's right. Okay, yeah, we just need to sign the.
What did she do? Apparently, she was cheating on her husband and got into a fight with her husband about the infidelity and bit her husband on the arm, as one does. So not only did she bite him, she also cheated on him. She's a class act.
Reset, and then we'll have you take a seat. No, come up. Well, no, the deal is that he's moving out, she's moving out.
He is moving out, and he
His
previously told
husband,
the
yeah.
prosecutor on the case that he has a new place, but I see on the MOAB that it does list the apartment that belongs to the
Got it.
defendant. Yes.
Okay, I want you to go back, but I want to make sure that the person is out first, because I don't want you to go back. He's there and boom, just,
And don't talk about the facts of the case, just talk
No,
about
no,
this
no.
situation. Yeah.
My lease is up on the 7th of December, so I'm okay. I just need to get my personal belongings.
But if he's not living there, Your Honor, I mean.
I just don't know if he's still there.
I can reach out to him.
Do you mind real quick?
Yes, Judge.
Okay, they're going to try to reach out to him real quick to see if he's still there. If he's not, and he's gone,
He's still there,
Until what day?
until December 2nd.
Oh, okay.
is he on the lease too?
No, I mean, he doesn't have to leave. I'm with my grandma. I'm okay. I'm okay.
Sure?
Yes. Yes.
Well, is there also,
I don't want to exclude you from your own home.
there were no contact too?
It's okay because
Yeah,
Yes, Judge.
just did a no contact because he
Wants a
doesn't,
no contact?
yeah,
Yeah.
it's over. Allegedly.
Till next one?
I don't, you never know. Time heals, right?
Okay, so you're for sure not going back there. He's
I
gonna
haven't
be,
been back.
but what about December 2nd when he leaves? Do you need to go back? You said December 2nd he's getting out of there?
Well, he gonna communicate with my mom and my sister. That's how we've been conversing.
So let's do this.
Oh
I'm
my
gonna have
God.
Alex reach out to him. At a minimum, let's see when he's gonna go out. That way you have an idea. He's gone and you can go
Okay.
back because,
Can your family go get your stuff if need be?
Yeah. I mean,
probably a lot of
And,
stuff.
and the reason we're bringing this up is because if you go to that address
I know,
and he calls the cops,
I know.
even if he tells you, invites you,
Mhm.
even if he's gone,
Mhm.
you will get
I
charged
know.
with a new charge. And I don't want that happening. So if he's out December 2nd,
Nice
is his
one.
last day, do you want to come back to court December 3rd? And we can,
I have to remove that residence restriction off. So if you go back, you don't get in trouble.
Oh, you don't have to do because I'm about to move. My lease is over.
right, but who's going to get your stuff out of it?
But it's because it's only right that he lives the rest there because he paid the rent for this month.
Okay, well, I'm just trying to
I
get
understand.
her to get her stuff out without getting in
I'm
trouble.
gonna get it. My sister will get it for me. They don't-
Okay,
Ms. Green, you've got a great lawyer. If you ever need anything, reach out to Greg.
Yes, sir.
Greg knows how to get a hold of me and we can always work something out.
Yes, sir.
Just the worst possible thing you can do is take matters into your own hands, go over there, or because you'll end up picking up a new charge and then things will really go sideways quick. So just please don't. If you ever have any questions, reach out to Greg, he'll always talk to you and yeah, I mean, we're always here as well.
Okay.
We live here. So
Okay, so then I'll do a regular reset, and if you need something moved up, let me know and I'll get you here.
Okay.
Okay?
okay, all right, man.
All right.
Am I able to leave?
Not yet, I'm gonna give you a reset.
Let's get you the reset and all the paperwork.
All right, thank you, Judge.
Okay, thanks, Greg. Hannah, do you speak English, sir?
Flores José Antonio.
He doesn't speak English?
Acérquese aquí al centro. Solamente mire el juez y le contesta con respeto en español.
Claro que sí.
Florencio Martinez Vázquez Guillermo.
Sí.
Guillermo, yes, solo mire el juez.
Charged with driving while intoxicated.
Solo mire el juez, por favor.
You are facing up to 6 months in jail and/or a $2,000 fine.
De dormir.
We are going to do probable cause. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can or will be used against you. You have the right to have an attorney appointed if you cannot afford one, sir.
No, para usted, si usted no puede pagar por su propio. Solo quédese mirando al juez, por
Sí,
favor.
sí, sí.
On November 17th, 2024, the officer conducted a traffic stop after observing the defendant's motor vehicle run a red light. Upon contact with the defendant, who was the driver and sole occupant of the vehicle, the officer observed the defendant with bloodshot eyes and a moderate odor of an alcoholic beverage. The defendant admitted to drinking and advised that he was coming from a party. Standard field sobriety tests were performed. HGN, 6 out of 6. Walk and turn, 5 out of 8. One leg stand, 2 out of 4. Inventory search of the vehicle revealed.
All right. So this guy is basically, I wonder, is he related to George from the Sarah Boone trial? Is this his brother?
One open 12-ounce bottle of Modelo.
Drinking while driving.
He's just enjoying a Modelo.
Red, and the defendant consented to correct. The results being 0.122 and 0.126.
Mr. Vasquez Guillermo, I'm going to find that there's probable cause. Tell me, are you a United States citizen?
Solo mire el juez, por favor.
Are you in this country with or without permission?
Sin permiso.
No, sin permiso.
No, without permission.
What happens if you go to jail?
Si usted va a una cárcel.
Video.
Acérquese, señor, y no me mire, por favor, solo al juez. ¿Qué pasa si usted va a una cárcel?
No, pues, no sé. No
Well,
sé.
I don't know.
Are you in this country with or without permission?
Todo sin permiso.
O sea, entré con permiso, me quedé.
Tom Homan's
I
going to be
entered
on
with
your
permission,
ass.
But I stayed, I remained.
If you go to jail
Usted va a una cárcel.
and immigration finds you, Mr. Vasquez, they will put a detainer on you and you will be stuck in custody until this case is over with. And then you will be shipped off to immigration where you will sit for another 6 to 9 months waiting for immigration to do whatever they're going to do. I would hope that you recognize it's elementary that you're not to have alcohol in the car while you're driving. And it is a minimum of 5 days in jail to any sentence you get
Sí.
if they allege the open container. I will tell you now that immigration sweeps it every single day. So if you spend more than 6 hours in custody, you'll be stuck like Chuck with an immigration detainer. I am now putting conditions on your bond. And if I find that you violate these conditions, you will go to jail in a moment's notice. And I don't care if you're kicking and screaming. Do you understand?
¿Entiende, señor? Sí, señor, o no, señor.
Sí, 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 entiendo.
You are not allowed.
It's conceivable we did see one of these before, and if so, I apologize. I don't know if some of you weren't here the entire time. Oh, hey, Erica, good to see you. There was an article that came out today about this wonderful judge and being a little critical, mentioning how some attorneys are. Oh, speak of the devil. Hi. Hello. Okay, so I can't hear you, but that's okay. I don't listen anyways. Come on, you can do it. I believe in you. Have you tried unmuting? Okay. Anyway, I don't know what the hell means, but okay. I think she's trying to figure it out. So the judge, there was an article on this judge. Don't blame my software. And sorry, so many things going on. It was a little critical, not too bad, but it was a little critical of the judge. So I think he got a little nervous and just removed all his videos from his YouTube channel for the last 2 months. So I couldn't find anything from his channel. So what I did was found a compilation of several cases and just kind of played that. Because I figured out, or I found out he removed all his videos like 15 minutes before I streamed. So while Hella's messing around, I will start with this.
Usted no
To
está-
drive, and you will be signing with me today a promise that you're not going to drive. I don't care what your excuse is. If I find that you drive, to jail you will go.
cárcel irá usted.
Likewise, I'm ordering you not to consume alcohol or illegal drugs. You will be randomly tested. If you test positive for alcohol or drugs, likewise, you will go into jail.
De igual manera la va a ir a una cárcel.
Está bien, Judge.
That's fine, that's fine.
Any priority to be eyes?
Okay, that might be better.
No, Your Honor.
Ninguno.
Yes.
Señor juez, por favor.
Hello.
Hi.
Everything okay now?
Yeah, I just couldn't hear anything. Everything was plugged in and
Oh,
Bluetooth was supposedly working, but it just
Oh, that's
wasn't
odd.
working. But now it's working.
I couldn't hear you at all.
Couldn't even hear me.
No.
Okay, that's weird.
Yep. So yeah, I was just saying the judge removed all his videos on his YouTube channel.
Did
Because
he now?
there was an article, there was a little critical, not too bad. It was a little critical of like saying there's some defense attorneys that have an issue with the way he does his like they're concerned about their clients, like they have to warn their clients that they could be on YouTube now
Mm.
and kind of like infamous if something weird
Oh.
happens. You know, there could be like some weirdo named Dolly Talk that brings up the fact they're accused of prostitution and makes fun of it. You know, something
I'm
like
sure
that.
you're
could
their
happen.
biggest worry.
Some dolt like me.
Well,
yeah.
I suppose there's been a few defendants over time who have gone really viral because of judges
Yeah.
having their YouTube channels up, like that black judge, what's his name?
Simpson.
Yeah, and that time that the defendant was driving.
Yeah.
Yeah. That one's super viral. But
Yeah.
has Fleischer had any like that?
Oh yeah. He's pretty big.
Is that
Yeah, he's had a
little
few.
man?
He got criticized a few months ago. So he took down a bunch of videos
Mhm.
2 months ago. And then so the only videos he had on his channel were from the last 2 months.
Okay.
And so that's what I was picking from, and that's what I was going to play today. And then I found out 15 minutes before, oh, this video is no longer playing. I wonder why. And the judge deleted them all.
He's backing down pretty fast, isn't he? He's not standing his ground for someone who is such an advocate of transparent courtrooms. He's just like,
Yeah.
okay,
Well,
I'll delete them all.
it is a little weird. Although most judges that do
It's
this
not
kind of
weird.
stuff
It's not
only
weird.
leave
It's
for a few days.
Yeah, right. No, I feel like he's just a bit of a yellow belly.
Oh, don't tell him that.
I couldn't care less. What you gonna do to me?
Yeah, Judge Boyd is another one.
Oh, Judge Boyd's the worst.
Yeah.
She has a little set up with a little flowers and her pictures and her set. Like I reckon she has like a ring light and the whole bit. Like you walk in and you're walking into her damn studio.
Yeah. Yeah, a lot of judges make them private immediately after the hearing too.
Yeah, that was like Judge. He'd let the hearing happen and
Yeah.
it would be gone. So good luck. If you recorded it, great. So Law and Crime and that they would stream it and record it and it'd be up there. But you couldn't go back to Judge's
Yeah.
YouTube channel. I think that's great.
Yeah.
Yeah. You love her purses, Erica. I wouldn't be
We're
surprised
going
if
to
she's got, like,
reset your
a
case
deal
to
with
give
the
you
purse
time to
company.
hire a lawyer. So I will have you come up here, swear to us that you're not going to drive. This is an affidavit. I'm going to tell you now, Mr. Vasquez, look at me.
Míreme,
This is the only warning you will get from me.
recibir de parte mía.
One violation
That's a
whatsoever.
manlet.
I'm
Yeah.
going to keep you with me.
Voy a
He's
mantenerlo
related
hasta
to
conmigo.
What are
George.
manlets?
Do you understand?
¿Entendió eso, señor?
Sí, señor.
Yes, sir.
Okay, come up here, swear to us that you're not to drive. We'll get you to Victoria and then we'll get you with Felicia for your bond condition.
Judge, next is page 22, white.
Yeah, I saw it.
Oh,
Dressed.
Judge Boyd is more famous. Like, yeah, Judge Boyd is more famous. But none of these people should be famous. This is the point. Right? Why are judges famous? Judges should be
Good morning, Ms. White.
nameless, carrying out
Ma'am, you're charged with assault of a
adjudication
family
the
member.
law.
You're facing
Yeah.
up to a year in jail and or
It's all very well to have transparency in the courtroom, but why are judges famous?
Yeah.
This is my problem. I don't
I
get
get
it.
I know.
Maybe I've just been hanging around Branca too long.
Well, there's that. Just in
Or there
general.
is that. Hang on, I'll just go back to the kitchen.
Yeah.
We're going to do probable cause. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can or will be used against you. You have the right to have an attorney present. If you cannot afford one will be appointed to you, ma'am.
Yes, Judge. The complainant and the defendant are married. On November 16th, the officer was dispatched to a residence in Harris County, Texas, in reference to an assault. The officer met with the complainant, who stated the defendant and him had a verbal altercation that began the night prior, due to the defendant thinking the complainant was talking to another woman on the phone. The complainant stated he tried to sleep, but the defendant wouldn't stop arguing. The complainant stated that he slept in a separate bedroom, but the defendant came into the bedroom at 5 a.m. and started yelling at him, accusing him of cheating.
Jesus.
The complainant stated he tried to walk out when the defendant struck him with a closed fist right between his eyes, causing him to feel pain and discomfort. The complainant stated he feared for his life and had no other choice but to call 911.
Okay, Ms. White, I'm going to find that there's probable cause to go forward with the case. Do we know if he wants to have contact with her?
Let me see if a rip has been done, Your Honor.
Please.
No rip has been done, Your Honor.
Wait, this
Okay.
is all this dude.
I don't know if he wants to have contact with you, so
Testimony.
until I
We don't know
know,
if
I'm
she
ordering you
did
not
it.
to have contact with this person.
Oh, this is the
His
prosecutor.
word against her. No, the defendant.
Oh.
The dude said that she did all that stuff. We don't know if she did.
Yeah.
Is there
Although
any other evidence? Did he read out any other evidence? Like, did he have bruises? Did he go to the hospital? Was it just that her partner saying that she did that?
I think that is enough to bring you in most states.
Really?
Hmm. Like
Oh.
the days of usually cops, I think at least in Arizona, in most places, if they get called, chances are they're taking somebody into custody to sort it out later. Just to give both parties time to cool off. They've really tightened up the domestic violence laws to try to protect people in theory.
Okay.
Yeah.
A protective order has been issued in this case. I would suggest you get to know it, because if you violate the protective order, the state can and will file additional charges against you, a violation of a protective order, and it's one of the worst cases that you can pick up. Do you understand, man? So you're not to have contact with this person and not to be in possession of any weapons.
There goes Manlet.
Do you work, ma'am?
I do.
What do you do for a living?
I'm school bus driver.
What kind of money do you make a month?
$3,000 a month.
Okay, we're gonna reset your case to
Wow.
give you time to hire a lawyer. I'll have you go to
Pretty
Victoria,
good.
sign a reset. After that, we'll just have you take a seat in the jury box so we get your.
It's not bad. It's like okay, Bob. Yeah.
That's fucked up. So you can just call the cops and get your partner taken to jail.
Or, I mean, basically, yeah.
What?
Especially if you're a woman.
What?
I thought she said 8K.
Oh. 3K a month as a bus driver.
I thought she
make
said
sense.
8K.
Did she get to go back?
With this person and not to be in possession of any weapons. Do you work, ma'am?
I do.
What do you do for a living?
I'm school bus driver.
What kind of money do you make a month?
$3,000 a month.
Okay, we're gonna research your case. You
Sound
need
like
time to
me.
hire a lawyer. I'll have you go to Victoria.
I'm sorry?
She did say 8.
Yeah.
Wow. That's all right.
Yeah, I mean, you got to deal with kids, but
She's a school bus driver. That means she's only driving in the morning and the afternoon.
like ones here in Arizona, they pick up kids for multiple schools.
Yeah.
So they have to work like for 2-3 hours, probably in the morning and then after school.
Okay, so that's like 6 hours work.
That's pretty good.
Holy mackerel. 8K?
Yeah.
US dollars.
That's really good. That's almost 100K a year.
Shit. I mean, she has a big responsibility on her hands.
True.
But still, I am very surprised at that.
Yeah.
And she'd get health insurance too, Bob. That's nothing to sniff
Yeah.
at. That's a good job. You're in the wrong business, T-Bone.
Then again, no, Mads is saying Google says it's only like 38,000 a year.
$18 an hour. She didn't she say? I heard her say 8K.
2K? Okay, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe she just, yeah,
Okay.
whatever.
Have you have captions up?
Yeah, I didn't catch it.
Mm.
So closed caption didn't read it either.
Damn it.
I know.
Sign a recent. After that, we'll just have you take a seat in the jury box while we get your bond finished. You'll have you sign it, and then you'll be free to go in. Okay? Please. So no contact, no weapons. Please. You are Aaron Durden?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Durden, you're charged with driving while
No more
intoxicated.
donuts.
You're facing up to 6 months in jail and or a $2,000 fine. We're going to do probable cause. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you. You have the right to have an attorney present. If you cannot afford one, one will be appointed to you, sir.
Yes, Judge.
Okay.
On November 14th, 2024, the officer was on a traffic stop in Harris County, Texas, with emergency lights activated when he heard an engine roaring of a performance motor vehicle and observed the defendant's Lamborghini on the feeder road traveling at least double the speed of moving traffic with a posted speed limit of 45 miles per hour. The officer observed the defendant's motor vehicle swerve in the feeder lanes and enter South Highway at a very high rate of speed without signaling a lane change. The officer terminated his traffic stop and attempted to catch the defendant. The officer observed the defendant's motor vehicle turning into a bar and initiated a traffic stop. The officer approached the motor vehicle and observed the odor of brakes and engine burning from aggressive driving. The officer observed the defendant to be the operator of the motor vehicle sitting behind the wheel and observed a strong odor of an alcoholic beverage and watery eyes. The defendant stated he was coming from Captain Tom's and standard filter sobriety tests were started. The defendant then complained he had poor balance, and the defendant fumbled through his wallet trying to find his Texas driver's license and stalled when answering where he was coming from. The defendant was searched, and the officer found a receipt from a bar in the defendant's short pocket. An HEN eventually was conducted, finding 6 out of 6 clues. Walk and turn and one leg stand were refused. The D was read the DIC, but refused blood. A search warrant was obtained and executed.
All right, Mr. Durden, I'm going to find that there's probable cause to go forward with the case. I'm ordering you now as a condition of your bond not to drive any vehicle that doesn't have an ignition interlock on it. That is a blow and go that you put on your car to make sure that you don't have alcohol when you get into a car. If I find that you drive a car that doesn't have one, I will put you in jail. You will not get any more PR bonds. Do you understand?
Yes, Judge.
I'm also ordering you not to consume alcohol or illegal drugs, and I will randomly test you. If I find that you're consuming alcohol or illegal drugs, likewise, you will go to jail. No more PR bonds for you, sir.
Yes, Judge.
Understand that we send notice to DPS in Austin so that any and all officers know if you get pulled over, you're to be driving a vehicle that has an interlock. And if you drive one that doesn't, they will immediately take you to jail.
Can you buy
So
these interlock
beware
things?
that the all-seeing eye knows. You understand?
Yes, Judge.
We're going to give you time to hire lawyers, so I'm going to have you go to Victoria, sign a reset. You will then get with
I never
Fleischer for your
heard
bond
of this
conditions, and after that, you'll
interlock
be free to go. All right?
Judge.
Something
Okay.
you can just get at the shops.
Hi, Billy. Jose Antonio Guzman Flores.
Oh, it's
So
another
you're charged with
manlet.
assault of a family member. You're facing up to a year in jail and/or a $4,000 fine. We're going to do probable cause. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you. You have the right to have an attorney present. If you cannot afford one will be appointed to you, sir.
The complainant and the defendant are in a dating relationship. On November.
Did you have a question, Hella?
Yeah, these interlock things.
What about them?
Like, do you just go down the shops and get one, or
Good question.
what's the deal?
You have to have them installed. You bring them, like if you get a remote starter installed type of thing. So you drop them off and they install it into the ignition. I was at Circle K the other day and this guy, I looked over and this guy gets into his car and he has this long tube and then he just, somebody had a DWI.
Okay.
Yeah.
So hang on. So what's this? Interlocks are expensive and expensive to calibrate. They also need to be calibrated frequently. All Judge said was you need to be driving a car with an interlock on it. He didn't say it need to be calibrated.
Well, then they might think you're drunk when you aren't and the car wouldn't start.
Oh.
So it could be the other way too.
Oh, okay.
But
can you get like a Temu one?
No, and you usually rent them.
Right, you rent.
Yeah,
Interlock
so
sucks. They're very
hundreds.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
There's a
Rent them for the court like ankle bracelets, right?
Yeah, basically. I think
So it's basically like a big fine.
I'm sorry?
It's like getting a big fine.
Yeah, it's
Then having to have like a big disability thing on your car. People know
basically,
about it.
and it can like mess up your car.
Can it?
Yeah, if not installed correctly. I mean,
Oh.
hell, I had Best Buy install a remote starter in my car, and they got it working, and then my entire car stopped working.
Remote start. Like a button, you mean?
Yeah, to start my car. And for like a day, they were looking all over my car, trying to fix it. And it turned out it was the fuse in my car. My car was a month old, and there was a tiny crack in the fuse. So when they bumped the fuse, it started up and worked.
Oh no.
So they replaced the fuse. Everything was good for another month until the fan on my radiator stopped going into high mode and my engine started overheating.
Oh shit.
Because of them tracing the damage or tracing like why the car wouldn't start or do anything, they ended up going to like the computer module on the car and removing all the relays and just taking it apart, which you should never do. And then they put them back and siliconed them in.
Right. So you chose the cheapo place to get the remote starter put in. You cheaped out, didn't you, T-Bone?
No, I spent a lot. And their insurance did cover it. To be fair, I got made whole. And then I just installed them myself after that. Yeah. Assholes. So my point is, when you install this stuff, there's a chance it can mess with your car.
Which crazy blonde bitch was gifted membership?
Oh, Jim, thank you so much for gifting 10 memberships, it looks like.
10?
Wow. Oh,
10,
there we go.
Jim. 10.
That was very, very generous of you. Thank you.
So generous. The last person who did that was me.
Oh, you're right. I like you better, though, Jim.
Oh, fuck you. Actually, I have a visitor.
Ooh. Seraph. So thank you so much, Jim. That's very generous of you. No, I didn't have an interlock yet. Remote startups are battery drainers? A little bit, but not much of a problem for me. I like having them, but I don't really use it on my current car. And yeah, my new car does have a remote starter too, actually built in.
Look,
Aw,
everyone.
Sheriff.
Look who's here. Hi. Why do you never turn up on my stream? You always turn up on his stream.
Aw.
Hey? No. Hello, guy. Oh.
Aw, Edie, thank you so much for gifting a Dolly Talk membership. Moving the chat green. It's a green neighborhood chat. Keep it moving.
Pray the gray away.
Yes. Down with the
Hey.
grays.
Down with the grays. You don't have any grays, even though you're basically 90.
Aw.
Aren't you? You're like 90 in cat years.
Old man.
All right, are we going to watch any more of this or not?
Yeah, a little bit more.
Okay, what is this manlet?
16, 2024, the officer was dispatched to a residence in reference to a disturbance. The officer made contact with the complainant, who stated she and the defendant began to argue. When she discovered the defendant gave her an STD. The argument began as verbal. The complainant wanted to leave, and the defendant grabbed the complainant's wrist and began to pull her.
Oh, we're going back.
Sir, will be used against you. You have the right to have an attorney present. If you cannot afford one, one will be appointed to you, sir.
The complainant and the defendant are in a dating relationship. On November 16, 2024, the officer was dispatched to a residence in reference to a disturbance. The officer made contact with the complainant, who stated she and the defendant began to argue. When she discovered the defendant gave her an STD. The argument.
Oh boy, that must have been a hot conversation.
Yeah.
What, did she go pee one time and started burning? She's like, that essay. He's a bad hombre.
Bad hombre, I'm gonna go get that manlet.
Yeah. I thought he was gonna be like stealing from her, like he was trying to steal her high-heeled shoes to gain an inch or two. But oh wow, right to the STD argument. Oof.
Yep. We're gonna find out what it was.
Yeah, let's hope.
It's verbal. The complainant wanted to leave, and the defendant grabbed the complainant's wrist and began to pull her. The defendant then grabbed the.
I need to see Sarah.
Dude, you gave her a freaking STD and then you beat her?
Oh, prick.
I mean, come on, dude.
The complainant's purse, which was wrapped around her waist, and then began to pull her hair. The complainant and the defendant separated when officers arrived. The defendant stated he did not put his hand on the complainant by grabbing her wrist, and pulling her because he wanted her to calm down. The officer observed an injury to the complainant matching her statement.
So you said pull the hair? Is that what you said?
Pulled her hair, yes, Your Honor.
And did you say that it hurt?
The complainant did state that she felt pain.
All right. Okay, Mr. Flores, I'm going to find that there's probable cause to go forward with the case. Do we know if she wants to have contact with him? Yay or nay?
A rip was performed. Let me see real quick.
Looks like they already had contact.
No rush. I don't see. All right, so.
It does not appear she wants contact with the defendant, Your Honor.
I wonder why.
No contact.
Right, so, and I'm entering in what's called a magistrate's order for emergency protection. This is a court order that identifies Ms. Robles as a protected individual. You cannot commit family violence or an assault against this person. Commit an act in furtherance of an offense under section 42.072 of the Texas Penal Code, which is the stalking statute. You cannot threaten, harass, use another person to communicate a threat or harassing behavior. You cannot be in possession of a weapon or go within 200 feet of where she lives or where she works. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
If you violate this court order, the state can and will file additional cases against you, a violation of a protective order, and it's one of the worst misdemeanor cases you can pick up, so just stay away. don't have contact with her. If she texts you, don't reply. If she calls you from an unknown number, hang up the phone. Just don't have any contact and everything will be fine. How old are you, sir?
And if your computer gets a virus, make sure it doesn't email her computer.
22.
What do you do for a living?
I'm a technician right now.
And what kind of money do you make a month?
Sorry?
How much money do you make a month?
3,500 a month
And who do you live with?
with my mom.
We're going to reset your case to give you time to hire a lawyer. So I'm going to have you come up here. We'll have you.
Oh, that was fun. We can do a couple more, and then I'll send y'all over to Hella.
We have Chris today on the
Yay.
stand. Hello.
You are Taylor Brooker or Booker, sorry. Ms. Brooker, you're charged with assault of a family member. You're facing up to a year in jail and or a $4,000 fine. We're going to do probable cause. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can or will be used against you. You have the right to have an attorney present. If you cannot afford one, one will be appointed to you, ma'am.
Officers were dispatched to a residence in Harris County, Texas, in response to an assault. The complainant, defendant's sister, told officers that she and the defendant got into an argument. The complainant was sitting on the couch when the defendant came and stood over her and tried to take complainant's phone out of her hand. The complainant pushed defendant away and the defendant began striking the complainant. The complainant told officers that defendant was holding complainant by the hair and bit her on the ear, breaking the skin and causing pain. Judge, this defendant has also had a prior AFMs, impeding breath, with the same complainant. We've spoken to the complainant and she wants no contact.
Ms. Brooker, I'm going to find that there's probable cause to go forward with the case. I'm ordering you now not to have any contact with this person whatsoever. Do you understand?
Sure.
I'm also ordering you as a condition of your bond not to be in possession of weapons as well. If I find that you're in possession of your weapons, you try to have contact with this person in whatever means. I don't care. No contact means no Snapchat, Facebook, social media.
MySpace?
Do you understand?
Sure.
How about Dropbox? What if I leave a video in this person's Dropbox?
Can I aim her?
You
I'm
didn't
ordering
say
you as a
that.
condition of your bond not to consume alcohol or illegal drugs. I'm going to randomly test you. If I find that you're using, likewise, I will put you in jail. How old are you, ma'am? You're 21. What do you do with yourself now?
I take care of my grandparents.
How old are you? She should have said I plead the fifth.
Yeah.
I do healthcare.
Oh,
You
God.
get paid for that.
Yes, sir.
I'll show you.
How much money do you make a month?
Now 1K a month.
Belly.
1K a month.
Stripey.
Did you graduate from high school?
Yes, sir.
I'm going to work on that right now.
Professional violin.
I am making that a condition of your bond. You cannot go through life at the minimum without a high school education. I'm going to bring you back. I'll give you a lawyer. Are you really rolling your eyes at me?
I can't hear you. That's
I want you to work on getting your GED.
fine.
I'm making that a condition of your bond.
I heard that part. I just didn't hear anything else, sir.
Ooh.
Oh, I got to go back.
Without a high school education. I'm going to bring you back. I'll give you a lawyer.
She did roll her
Are
eyes.
you really rolling your eyes at me?
See?
I can't hear you. That's
I want you to work on. Do you understand?
sir.
Again, I'm a lawyer situation about
I can't hear you.
bring you.
A month.
Oh, where are you going?
Did you graduate from high school?
Yes, sir.
I'm going to work on that right now.
Don't get up to anything about it today.
I am making that a condition of your bond. You cannot go through life at the minimum without a high school education. I'm going to bring you back. I'll give you a lawyer. Are you really rolling your eyes at me?
I can't hear you. That's
I want you to work on getting your GED.
fine.
I'm making that a condition of your bond.
I heard that part. I just didn't hear anything else, sir.
Oh, you pissed him off now.
I'm sending you for a drug and alcohol test right now. I want to know what, if anything, is in your system. If you fail to take the test, if you fail to come back, I'm going to revoke your bond. You
Sorry.
understand? I'm sending you for a drug and alcohol test right now. I want to know what, if anything, is in your system. If you fail to take the drug test, if you fail to come back, I will issue a warrant for your arrest. Do you understand? When you come back, we will talk about your lawyer situation, about working on getting your GED as well. Felicia,
Yes, sir.
what'd she test positive for?
I have,
Anything else?
no, just you.
No more. You will be tested 40 days from today. If you test positive again, I'm going to put you in jail. You will not get any more PR bonds. Do you understand?
Sure.
Well, Josh, what's your last
Just
name
a bit
again?
of pot.
That's right.
Really? That's all she tested positive for?
40 days from today, maybe 42, maybe 45, I will test you again for marijuana. If you test positive again, or if you consume alcohol, your bond will be revoked. You will go into custody. I'm also entering in what's called a magistrate's
How
order for
come she can't
emergency
have alcohol?
protection.
He just says flat out no mind-altering substances.
Why? Like this again, like I don't understand how he's got the right to do that. Like that she's 21.
They're on, it's her bail, so he can impose conditions for the bond. It's pretty common.
So she can't like, okay, so she's at a wedding, she can't have a glass of champagne.
Nope.
Are you freaking kidding me?
Not until she's no longer under court order.
This is so stupid.
Oh, and weed is still illegal in Texas as well.
Clearly.
Yeah.
This is dumb. So all she got, okay. What's she there for in the first place? I missed it.
Domestic squabble, if I recall.
A domestic squabble. Righto.
Yeah.
And all she's tested positive for in the past is some marijuana.
And I know, like, in Rekida's thing, he could get like a $5,000 bond with a bunch of conditions, including no drinking alcohol, or he could pay $50,000. He'll get it back, but he doesn't have the conditions either. So it could
if
be
you come
something.
up with the money, then you can probably do what you want.
Yeah.
This is so dumb.
I mean, ultimately, the court's job is to be a parent and try to make you a productive member of society somehow.
Is it? I thought
Yeah.
it was to impose the law.
No, they're trying. Well, yes, but ultimately, they're trying to make you productive members of society.
Okay.
So for people that are screw-ups like this, they're going to impose certain conditions and things like that. No drugs, or get your GED, better yourself.
Yeah. He
It's-
doesn't
yeah.
need to parent. Like I feel like this is posturing.
I mean, most judges do stuff like that, so
Do they?
yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. Texas seems to be incredibly behind. Like, what is with these laws?
I mean, they were a country before they joined us, so
I know it. I know. GED should be more for probation. Like, I feel like good. She should get her senior certificate or whatever it is. That GED, that's finishing grade 12, right?
Yeah.
So she's never finished grade 12. Yes, that should happen. But is that the judge's job? Is that should that be part of her restitution for
should be
committing a
pre-trial.
crime?
Yeah. If she hasn't been convicted, I do see your point.
It's just like, what? Well, okay, yeah, it's better than throwing them in jail. Yeah, I get that. I get that. Yes, it is. Yes.
Ultimately, at the end of the day, I think it probably does more good than harm. The biggest issue is, like, these people don't have a lot of money, and then you're making them do drug tests and do all this stuff, which is good, but they have to pay money for that. So they have to pay, like, for the ankle monitor every month. There's a fee. like, over $100, I think.
Yeah, that part. Okay, so this is where I'm like struggling because all these things that they're asking these people to do
Yeah.
cost a ton.
Yeah.
Right. So it's all like, okay, it sounds lovely that you want them to be clean and then you want them to go and get educated, but then they have to pay all this money for all this stuff.
Yeah.
Right. So if you're gonna help them
Yeah.
to do these things, great. But you're just saying go out there and don't do drugs, go and study, just change your whole life just like
If
that
they're
right now.
very, very poor, sometimes the state will waive certain fees and help you out. But for the most part, no. I mean, if you make a little more than poverty, they don't care. They're not going to help you at all.
Yeah. And that would
So-
be most people, right? Because they'd be just
Yeah.
scrimping to make a living.
Yeah.
So yeah, they just throw you back out there and expect you to just change everything immediately, which is unrealistic. So then what happens is you stuff up
Yeah.
and then you end up in jail.
Yeah.
So yeah, I have a big problem with it.
I get it.
And what this is this is a court order that identifies Kayla Precious Booker as a protected individual. You cannot commit family violence or an assault against this person. Commit and act in furtherance of an offense under section 42.072 of the Texas Penal Code, which is the stalking statute. You cannot threaten, harass, use another person to communicate a threat or harassing behavior. You cannot be in possession of a weapon or go within 200 feet of 225 South 13th, apartment 18. Do you understand? You cannot go within 200 feet of where she lives or where she works. If you violate this court order, the state will file additional charges against you, and then things will go sideways really quick. Do you understand?
Sure.
No contact whatsoever by any means.
Sure.
Okay, so what we'll do is we will reset the case for about 42 days, 43 days, 45 perhaps. And then she must be here at the next setting. And then just if you don't mind letting them know, we've issued the order for protection. So if somehow Ms. Booker reaches out to the person, then warrant issues. We've given you a lawyer. It is your responsibility to stay in touch with Josh, and he will tell you when you have to come back to court. If Josh tells me that he can't get a hold of you, I will issue a warrant for your arrest.
Sure.
Do you see how many people we've put into jail today?
Sure.
Do you know why?
Yes, I was listening.
Good. All we want are streets to be safe. And as long as you can do that, then you and I will be best friends. Otherwise, got
Best
it.
friends.
Okay. Good luck, Ms. Booker. Thanks, Josh. So who's Leslie Vasquez?
Who's this
Okay,
cutie
and
pie?
you are Ashley Varela. Okay, ladies, both of you are you're charged with theft. You are also charged with theft. Both of you are facing up to 6 months in jail and or a $2,000 fine. We're going to do probable cause. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you. You have the right to have an attorney present. If you cannot afford one will be appointed to you.
On October 29th of 2024, officers were dispatched to a theft of a business at a Target located at 1801 West Bay Area Boulevard. Upon arrival, officer met with the complainant, who advised that two Hispanic males were concealing items inside of a stroller and Target bags. The complainant stated the females exited the store, passing all points of sale, and were subsequently detained and taken into the Asset Protection Office. The females were detained for passing all points of sale, and the total cost of the stolen items was $333.19.
And we saw them acting in concert with this.
Yes, Judge.
Ladies, I'm going to find that there's probable cause to go forward with the case. I'm ordering you both not to go back to any Target. Do you understand? Do not pick up any new cases, otherwise I will put you in jail. You will not get any more PR bonds. How old are you, ma'am?
19.
How old are you, ma'am? What do you guys do for a living?
I don't work.
Hence the stealing.
Did you graduate from high school?
Huh?
Did you graduate from high school?
Not yet.
Not
I
yet.
dropped
You're
out.
19.
I dropped
Start
out.
going to college at 19. What are you doing with yourself now?
Stealing.
I just recently quit my job.
Doing.
My husband didn't want me working anymore.
Oh, boo.
So you're going to rely on your husband for the rest of your life? That's not a good way to go through life, because that husband at some point may not be there. And if he's not there for you, how are you going to eat? How are you going to support yourself? I have a very young daughter, and one of the things
You're not
that
going to
I'm
be
teaching
pretty
my daughter is
forever.
never to rely on any man for any reason. That's why you get an education. That's why you go far in life, so you never have to rely on anyone to be able to take care of you. Because if the divorce rate in this country is so high, never rely on a man.
Well, that's why you do the Bronco.
Never rely on no
You
man.
need to do something with your life, and you need to get back into high school, and we're going to make sure that happens.
That's
Do
why you need to
understand?
find a man that's twice
I
your
will
age.
appoint you a lawyer today, but I want to see what you've done in 2 weeks to get back in high school. If you've done nothing, tell me about yourself.
I recently stopped high school because I just had my baby, but I'm trying to get back into school.
No. Likewise, you will be on the same path as well. And if you've done nothing, same thing. Don't ever rely on a man. Men are just, some men are good, some men are not very good. But you need to be able to rely on yourself so that you work, have knowledge, because if you don't, you'll go nowhere in life. You'll never have money, and you'll always have to rely on a man. Don't.
Did he say knowledge?
Be smarter.
Knowledge, I think.
So if you can appoint lawyers to both of them, and then we will have you sign conditions that you're not allowed to go to Target. And I want to see you both back in 2 weeks to see what you've done to start working on your GED. At a minimum, you cannot go through life without having a high school education. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
Okay. I'll have you sign a recess with.
Dude, what is that background? Seriously, you think a virtual background? Oh, I'm going to look smart with books behind me. Google law books image. There we go. That'll work. I mean, to be fair, I guess it is better than, a blurry screen of Ricada's streaming studio. But for God's sakes.
I need to get one of those.
Oh my God. That is just cringe.
That's funny.
Okay, well, that's all right.
Victoria, and I want to have you take a seat in the jury box over there. Come on.
Are those through us?
Wonderful.
Are those through us, Judge, or?
Yeah.
So no entering Target, no.
No going to Target, and then either GED or high school diploma. Good morning, ma'am. You are Yurisbel Perez Leyva.
Yes.
Ma'am, you're charged with prostitution. You're facing up to 6 months in jail and/or a $2,000 fine. We are going to do probable cause. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can or will be used against you. You have the right to have an attorney present. If you cannot afford one, one will be appointed to you.
On November 1st, 2024, officers were working in an undercover capacity while conducting a vice investigation at Glamour Girls.
Glamour
a
Girls?
sexual-oriented business located at 14428 Hempstead Road in
hold on.
Harris County, Texas.
I need to write that down.
While inside, officer was approached by the defendant. The two engaged in a conversation that turned sexual in nature. The defendant asked the officer if he wanted to go to the VIP room in return for $120.
That's it?
When officer asked what it would include, the defendant replied, me. Officer told the defendant that he wanted to fuck, and the defendant smiled at him and said, okay, everything for $400. The defendant agreed to have straight sex with the officer for a fee of $400.
Ma'am, I'm going to find that there's probable cause to go forward with the case. I'm going to order you as a condition of your bond not to engage in like-kind activity. If I find that you continue with this, I'm going to put you in jail. You will not get any more PR bonds. Do you understand?
Okay.
Would you like to apply for a court-appointed lawyer, ma'am? Okay, we will give you an application. I need to know how much money you make a month. I will take a look at it, and then.
God, $400. Inflation, this hoflation.
How much money she makes a month? Wow.
I mean,
None.
God, the price of hookers is just skyrocketing in this Biden economy. It really is a shame. God.
So let's get this straight. So clearly in Texas, prostitution's illegal.
It's illegal pretty much everywhere in the U.S.
Really?
except for like the Bunny Ranch or like in Las Vegas or outside Las Vegas. There's only a few places that allow it, and it's heavily regulated.
Heavily regulated. Yeah. Well, it should be heavily regulated.
Yeah.
Okay. So a person like this, and when he goes and asks what her income is, clearly she'll have no income because she doesn't declare anything.
No, I think she has a legal job. It sounds like a strip club, and then she decided to upgrade her services that crossed the line.
Yeah, it's legal in most places in Australia. Yeah. It's heavily regulated.
Yeah.
Yeah. We ain't letting those hoes get away with no taxes.
No, no taxes on hoeing.
Yeah, no, we need to tax those hoes.
Damn straight. So the government, gets to
straight.
fuck you again.
Yeah, the government gets to fuck you twice.
So it's a threesome. I think you need to get going. I meant to your next stream, but okay. Tax-free, bish.
If you qualify, I will give you a lawyer today. I'll have you sign a reset with Victoria, and then we will have you take a seat in the jury box. Do not leave until you sign our bond conditions. Otherwise, I'll issue a warrant for your arrest. When you apply for a court-appointed lawyer, you have to qualify. If you make too much money, you just don't qualify. In the affidavit you filled out, you're stating that you make $8,000 a month.
Yes, sir.
This is true. Don't qualify for.
I do wonder if she offered to record it with the officer. Would that be a loophole? Because porn's allowed. Okay, I don't want to commit prostitution. I just want to make an adult video that'll end up on Pornhub. Gotta outsmart them.
You really make $8,000 a month?
$8,000 por mes.
Es que eso es algo que no,
Solo miro el juez.
que no sabría decirle porque
I want you to tell me the truth.
It's just something I wouldn't know what to tell you. Me gustaría que me digan la verdad.
I don't know how much.
Well, her OnlyFans income or stripping income is kind of, seasonal. It depends if she's been, late to work, then she gets, demoted to the lunchtime shift, not the evening shift. It's, a fluctuating business.
Money, all sources. I just need you to tell me the truth. Do you really make $8,000 a month?
Are you really surprised?
es que no sabría decirle porque no sé exactamente lo que hago por
Not
ti.
an exact amount.
Varía en el día, puedo ser exactamente $100, depende.
Well, le pido por favor que no me mire a mí, solo mira el juez. I couldn't tell you with any certainty because it varies, my income from day to day. I could make on one day $100, but it depends.
I don't want you to engage in this behavior anymore. I want you to understand that if you continue with this, I will put you in jail. You are not allowed to continue with this type of
About to go to 800 a month.
income, so to speak. Do you understand? Knowing that,
Sí, señor.
knowing that,
Sabiendo eso,
what kind of income do you have coming in? Are you married?
¿qué ingreso tienes? ¿Eres casada?
Sí.
Yes.
What is your husband?
¿A qué se dedica su esposo?
Estamos casados, pero no mantengo
Wait,
una
her husband?
relación con él.
I'm married, but I don't maintain a relationship with him.
Get any income from him?
I wonder why.
No.
No.
Do you have children?
¿Se tiene hijos?
We say no.
Sí, pero en
Oh,
Cuba.
Jesus.
Yes, but in Cuba.
in Cuba.
Guess what we can do is I can send you home with an application and you take time, think about it. But I need to know what your true income is.
Is this going to be an Elian Gonzalez type situation? Is Janet Reno going to appear in court here? Good Lord.
En realidad, ¿cuál es su
And
verdadero?
then if you qualify, we'll give you a lawyer, but I really need to know what your income is. And
Ya necesito saber.
8,000, just you don't qualify. So I'll send you with one. But I want you to understand, you're not engaged in this behavior.
Se puede involucrar en ese
So when you fill
You
out
can
this
strip,
application, it's
but you can't
not
give a happy
taking
ending.
this into account.
consideración.
Do you understand?
¿Se entendió?
Sí, señor.
No more of this.
Ya no más de esto.
Sí, señor.
Yes, sir.
Okay,
Okay.
all right,
Okay.
please.
Hacia la izquierda, por favor. Agarra su.
Yeah. Prostitution is just grody. Yeah, I'm about to end, Hella. Gosh, just give me 1 second. Prostitution is gross. Be a decent, honest, hardworking woman and do OnlyFans. That's classy. That's empowering. Yes. And make sure you drop that handle with me as well, on your way out. I'm just saying. All right, I am going to be ending and sending y'all over to Hella. I'm going to put her link in the chat to do the melody stream. And that's the link. And yep, we're going to send it right now. It should be all ready. Let me make sure. Sorry, guys. I think it's redirect to set up. Yep. Okay. I'm ending now. Toodles.